Right, I said I would review the Avon Cobra Chrome tyres. That's what I'm going to do. Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're enjoying the channel and this series of videos. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, leave those comments, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, where you find the links to PayPal for any support. Right, in here I've got something that hopefully, will go on there. Look, this is my kind of extension arm that's finally arrived. Crikey. Right, get rid of that. Oh, that will go on there. Marvellous. Get rid of all that. And right, so this will be for the forward mount. Anyway, so I want to strap on the camera. I think I'm just going to go with helmet mode, cam on this one. I'm going to ride around, tell you what I think about the Avon Cobra Chromes, and why I think they are the tyre for me, and maybe for you. Right, let's do that. Right then, these Avon Cobra Chrome tyres. What can I say? Well, I've put about 350 miles on them right now. Ridden on all sorts of different roads, and I've got to say, in all weathers. I've had a bit of rain, I've had dry, scorching temperatures. I've had it all. But what I've got to say is that actually these are probably the finest tyres that I could have hoped for. Let me put it that way. Now I've got to say, whenever you change your tyres, you know, you've worn your old tyres down to the bare minimums, and you put in new tyres, they always feel great, don't they? Your new tyres always feel great. You know, you seem as if you got all that grip that you never thought you had, or you forgot you had. So when I initially got the tyres on here, I thought, wow, these are amazing. And then I had to remind myself, hold on a minute, I've been riding around for the last year, for the most part, on worn tyres. So on the Scorcher tyres were worn all the way down. So I've got to kind of remember what it was like when I first got the Scorchers. Now, when I first got them, I always said that the Harley Davidson Sport Glide is one of the best riding motorcycles that Harley have produced, in my opinion, and mostly because of the way it handles in the bends. Now, if you take that datum that on the Harley Davidson Scorcher tyres, on the Sport Glide, it's a great bike in the bends. If you take that datum, as soon as you put the Cobra Chromes on, it's like you go from here to here. You jump up about 20%. Now, I'm not going to be so bold as to say you jump 20% in performance of the tyre. What I'm going to say is that you jump 20% in the confidence that it gives you. Like in the bench, just roll it in, and the profile of the tyre, because it's got a kind of a dome shape on it, it kind of rolls in. It's more like a sports bike tyre than a sort of touring tyre. It kind of rolls really nicely. There seems to be extra grip on the sidewalls of the tyre, or on the sides of the tread pattern, I should say, and it just gives you that extra confidence, and it does stick. It sticks to the road. Even in the wet, it feels planted. Where on the Scorcher tyres, I never felt that confident, and I could feel them letting go a couple of times if I tried to bank the bike over in moist conditions or in really wet conditions. But on these, no, they felt planted. Now, bearing in mind, I'm not saying that I'm pushing it to the limit either, but they are good. They are really good. Now, of course, many of you would be asking, well, how long are these tyres going to last? Are they going to be even better than Scorchers, or for that matter, any other type of tyre, whether it's a Dunlop, a Metzler, whatever it is. And obviously, depending on where you are in the world, you might have your favourite tyre. And depending on the roads that you're riding, a certain tyre may suit you better. You may choose for a really hard compound tyre because you're going to do lots of highway miles, and you can have your tyre run for about 14,000 miles, whatever. But you know, when here, if it depends where you are, again, if you're riding a lot of twisties, then actually you need a tyre. You need a tyre that's, you know, solid when you're upright, but also sticks like glue when you're going around the bends. And I think this is a tyre for, or these are the tyres for it. I just roll it in the bend. I mean, it sticks like glue. The Sport Glide's got fantastic handling anyway. I mean, you can go from peg to bed, scrape peg to peg or heel to heel, and it just holds its line. It's a beautiful bike to ride, and if you've never ridden one, definitely ride this bike. Now, we all have our favourite bikes, of course, so I'm not here to sell you the Sport Glide. I'm here to tell you about the Avon Cobra Chrome tyres. I've got a fantastic deal on them. Watch my other video when I actually got them, and the price difference between the dealership fitting and purchase, and also go to an independent garage. You'll be amazed at the difference. But not only the availability of them and the pricing of them, but it's just the way they feel. There doesn't seem to be a lot of give in them. There doesn't seem to be a lot of flex in them. So when you're around the bends, it seems as if they compress, and they compress just that right amount. Whereas on the Scorchers, if you really paid attention where you put it into the bend and you twist it on the throttle a little bit, you could feel there's a little bit of compression there. That, I mean, there's no science behind that. All I can say, that was my impression. And really, this is all about impressions, isn't it? But into the bend again, it just sticks. You know, you go from the hard compound center of the tyre, you flip it over, and it just, nothing happens. And I mean, literally, nothing happens. The bike is rock solid. So if you want a tyre, a review of a tyre, in 3 words: rock solid, sticks to the road. 6 words, right? Rock solid, sticks to the road. There you go. That's what Avon Cobra Chrome tyres. Now, yes, they might wear out a little bit, but I suppose you've got to say, well, what roads are you riding and how are you riding your bike? If you're really opening it up, you know, you're really pushing the tyres to their limits, then yeah, look, they're going to wear out faster. There's, you know, that stands to reason, really. But you know, if you're riding, I'm not going to say sensibly, but if you ride, you know, conservatively, let's say, to, you know, preserve the tyres, then I think that, you know, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. And I would expect these tyres to get as much as the Scorcher tyres, 7,500, 8,000 miles. You know, some have even reported up to 10,000 miles on the rear tyre, that is. You're going to get more life out the front tyre, no doubt. It's the rear tyre that's going to wear out first of all, of course. But they just feel great. They feel great. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up over here somewhere, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the ratings on these tyres, because this has been asked quite a few times now. So I'm just going to pull over here, and I'm going to talk to you about it. Right. Beauty, eh? Okay, so the tyre specs for the Sport Glide, the FLSB, for the front tyre, it's a 130/70 B18, and that is a 63 tyre code, and that's 272 kilos or 600 pounds. Now, it's got a max speed rating of H, and that's 130 miles an hour. So it's a 63H for the front, okay? And it's a B18. For the rear tyre, it's a 180/70 B16, and that's a tyre loading code of 77 with a 412 kilos or 908 pounds maximum load. And that is a maximum speed rating of H, which is also 130 miles an hour. So the tyre code is 77H. So the front is a B18 63H and the rear is a B16 77H. Right, let's go and check these Cobra Chromes. Okay, so for the front, we have got the Avon Cobra Chrome. Lovely tyres, say, sticks in the dry and the wet, fantastic. Now what you'll see here on the tyre, it actually says 63H. So it's the correct loading for the tyre and for the bike, of course. Now the size of the tyre is an interesting one, and I'm going to show you. Here it's a 130/70 R18. Now basically what the R means is that it's a radial tyre, which is absolutely fine as long as your rear tyre is an R rating as well. Let's go and check that out. Okay, so for the rear tyre, if we look here, it actually says upside down there, but 77V. The tyre size is a 180/70 R16. So the radial is exactly the same, front and rear, so that's absolutely fine. It's just a different construction type, so the radial tyres, front and rear, that's all you need. There we go, just like the old commercials, you never mix and match your tyres. So here I've got radials, they're fine. If you want to have belted bias, your B tyres, just keep B and B, front and rear. That's the key thing here. So the other factor was the speed rating. So on the front, it's still a 63H. So that's still limited to 130 miles an hour. On the rear, now I've got a V rating. Well, actually, that's improved my situation because that's taken that to a maximum speed rating of 149. So actually, I've gone from 130 to 149. Now, I'm not saying I'm ever going to go that fast. And also, if you want to go that fast, then you're going to have to change the speed rating of the front tyre as well, of course, to make that to a V rating. However, that being said, it's nice to know that actually there's a higher capacity of speed rating on the rear. Maybe for temperature variations, that might help a little bit as well. But look, they're exactly the same size, they're exactly the same rating. In fact, if anything, you've stepped up a little bit. They're exactly the same construction, radial. Tyre loading is exactly the same, if not improved on the rear as well. So the Avon Cobra Chromes, as opposed to the standard, are better. Well, in my opinion anyway. Okay, so I want to draw your attention to the actual profile of the tyre. So if you look here, in the middle, it's almost like there's hardly any tread at all. And this is where the hard compound is. On the sidewalls, that's where you got your softer compound and your deep tread. You've also got this snake pattern here on the sides, giving you extra grip as well. Now I've got to say, it's actually on the sidewalls here, on the side of the tyre, the tread pattern, that's where you're feeling the real benefit of these Cobra Chromes. And you can see I'm not even leaning over that far on them. I'm pretty much taking them just to the edge here, but they stick like glue. Amazing tyre. And if you look here, on the rear tyre, it's exactly the same. Hardly any tread in the middle of the tyre, that's where your hard compound is. Your soft compound on the side of the tyre, up to the snake motif. And look, I'm just taking it all the way up to the snake motif there, pretty much, and it sticks like glue. Brilliant. I wanted to be critical for this review of these tyres. I wanted to find something that I could say to you guys and say, look, you know what, I was probably a little bit too enthusiastic when I first got the tyres. They're not that good. But I can't find fault with them. The only thing I can really say to you is this: if you've ever ridden a sports bike, or you've gone from a touring type tyre to a sportier tyre, you know immediately the difference it gives you in handling. The flexing of the tyre, the grip in the bends. And this is like going from a touring tyre to a sports tyre. That's what you're getting with Avon Cobra Chromes, as opposed to the Scorcher tyres. Scorcher tyres are great tyres, don't get me wrong. Michelin tyres, I really do rate them. So if you want to stick with the Scorcher tyres, you have my approval. They're no problem at all. But if you want that extra chunk, if you want that extra 20%, let's say, in confidence, Cobra Chromes, that's the one for you. Well, right then, I'm going to get on the heroic Harley again, ride on down the road, put these through their paces. What I will do a final end of life review on these Cobra Chromes for you when I've reached their absolute limit. And I'll let you know how many miles I actually did on them. But I'm going to do a little bit more filming on my kind of stick thing, and well, catch you on the next video whenever that is. So all that's left to say is don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, leave those comments, check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, where you find all the tyre specs for all the Harley Softails on the Harley Party page as well, and you'll find the link to PayPal support as well if you want to. Right, me and the beastie are going to have a bit of fun together. Catch you again. Ta-da. Ah yes.